4 countries made a secret promise to each other after World War II. No public vote, no official announcement, just a quiet agreement, signed in the shadows, between men who believed the next war would not be fought with guns first. It would be fought with information. Decades later, the world discovered what that promise really meant. The ability to listen to almost anyone, anywhere, at any time, including their own citizens. For over 50 years, every government involved denied it existed. This is the true story of the most secretive alliance in modern history. Before we go further, if you're new here, welcome. This channel covers real declassified secrets, hidden alliances, and true stories governments tried to keep buried. If that sounds like something you enjoy, consider subscribing. It genuinely helps this channel keep telling these stories. And if you've got a moment, drop a comment below with where you're watching from. I read every one of them. Now, let's get into it. The story begins during the Second World War, in the middle of one of history's greatest intelligence achievements, breaking the German Enigma code. British and American code breakers worked side by side, sharing techniques, machines, and secrets that neither country had ever shared with an outsider before. It worked so well that when the war ended, both sides realized something important. They didn't want to stop. In 1946, the United States and Britain signed a secret agreement to continue sharing intelligence permanently. It was called the UK-USA Agreement, and for years, most people, including many elected officials, had no idea it existed. Soon, 3 more countries were quietly brought into the circle: Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Together, these 5 nations became known by a name that sounds almost too simple for what it represented: Five Eyes. As the Cold War intensified, the Five Eyes nations realized that listening to a handful of enemy radio signals wasn't enough anymore. The world was moving towards satellites, telephones, and eventually digital communication. So they built something far larger. It was called Echelon, a global network designed to intercept communications on a massive scale. Phone calls, faxes, telegrams, later emails. Listening stations were built in remote corners of the world, from the English countryside to the Australian outback, each one designed to pull signals directly out of the air or from satellites passing overhead. Supercomputers scanned the intercepted data for keywords, flagging anything that seemed important. For decades, Echelon operated almost entirely out of public view. Governments involved didn't just decline to discuss it, they refused to admit it existed at all. The cracks began to show in the 1970s and 80s, when a small number of journalists and whistleblowers started piecing together fragments of the truth. One of them was a British investigative journalist who spent years tracking down former intelligence officers willing to talk. What he uncovered was staggering: a system capable of monitoring communications not just from enemies, but from allies, businesses, and even ordinary citizens. His reporting eventually reached the European Parliament. In 2000, an official investigation was launched. A year later, in 2001, the Parliament released its conclusion. The Echelon network was real. It was no longer a rumor. And yet, even with that confirmation on the record, the governments behind Five Eyes still refused to fully acknowledge the scale of what they had built. The world wouldn't get the full picture until 2013, when a former American intelligence contractor leaked a vast trove of classified documents to journalists around the world. What those documents revealed went beyond anything previously confirmed. The Five Eyes Alliance wasn't just intercepting foreign military communications anymore. It had grown into a system capable of pulling data directly from undersea internet cables, indexing global email traffic, and in some cases, using loopholes to gather information on each other's own citizens. Information that domestic laws would have otherwise prevented. The public reaction was immediate and global. Debates erupted in parliaments and courtrooms across multiple continents. For the first time, ordinary citizens in 4 different countries were asking the same question at the same time. How long has this been happening to us? Today, the Five Eyes Alliance still exists. It's no longer denied, it's simply rarely discussed. The technology has changed, the methods have evolved, but the core idea, born in the final days of World War II, remains the same. 5 nations, 1 shared set of eyes, watching a world that has no idea how closely it's being watched. Which leaves us with an uncomfortable question. If it took over 50 years to confirm what these 5 countries were really doing, what are they doing right now that we won't find out about for another 50? If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. There are still plenty of secrets left to uncover, and if you want to help this channel keep digging up stories like this one, a like on this video goes a long way. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.